me get to it. So I had said a couple of things just on Twitter about the killing, the execution, the lynching of Ahmaud Arbery, and had not said much about the killing by law enforcement of Sean Reed. Since both of those things happened, there's been yet another shooting of a man in Florida who was the owner of a restaurant, and somebody was robbing him, and he was pursuing the people who robbed him, and the police saw him running and killed him. So that's, that's two back to back within 24 hours. We know that Ahmaud Arbery's killing was in February. But now everything just coming to a head. And I really had not. Thank you for asking that. Just DM me. My DMs are open, or just go to tag me anywhere at Monique Presley, Monique at Monique Presley. But I really had not said anything by way of video because frankly I didn't think there was anything to say that had not already been said. It didn't mean that I don't care. It didn't mean that I haven't been working. I've been communicating with lawyers who are involved in the cases, who are close colleagues and friends of mine. I've been offering my expertise and my support. I've been just as indignant as you, just as mad as you, crying like you, pissed like you, keeping yodied and rolling up all kinds of times a night, talking about the cases. I mean, anything that I could do out of sheer just hurt and anger and frustration. But somebody DM'd me who's a follower just earlier tonight and said, look, Monique, is there something that you know that we don't know about this case? Because we're all out here doing Run with Maud and asking people to donate money and etc., and you're not saying anything. And the follower, who I appreciated his candor, said, I didn't see you say anything, and I almost took my post down because is there something iffy about it? Because if there wasn't, wouldn't you have already said something? And I said, no, I said something on Twitter. But he said, well, there's 27.5 thousand of us who are right here, and we look to you for guidance. And I'm like, okay, I consider myself fully checked. So here I am at 1:00 in the morning to say this. Yes, it looks like Mr. Arbery was murdered, killed in cold blood, lynched, which, many people think about lynching as being a rope being around someone's neck, but that's not what a lynching is. A lynching is when there is mob so-called justice for an alleged crime, or where they think that a crime has been committed and the punishment is death and it is outside of the law. That's a lynching. And that's what it seems like this was. Why do I keep saying seems? Because we've seen the video, but I'm a lawyer by trade, and so I still always expect for people to be alleged, accused, charged, tried, convicted, and then I say they're guilty, right? But frankly, I was looking back at old things that I'd said. I looked back at what I said about Eric Garner. I looked at what I said about Mike Brown. I looked at my comments about Tamir Rice. I looked at my comments about Freddie Gray. And I commented on my feeds. I'd been on TV. I talked about all of those cases. And I kept saying the same damn thing. And I'm going to say it again tonight because I think we all are at the height of sick of this. But what does that mean? Right? Because what we're in now, we have a grieving family, multiple grieving families. But if we just look at the Ahmaud Arbery case, we've got parents who have lost a young man. It seems that he was innocent of doing anything wrong, but I want you to know that wouldn't matter. If he had been a burglar from days before, or if he had been casing somebody's house, or if he had been just coming from running through somebody's yard, they still didn't have the right to hunt him down execution style and kill him. That's not what a citizen's arrest is. So later, for all of this, we got to cheer for the brother who gets killed, who we think is innocent, and we gotta hide the case where we think the brother did something wrong. No, constitutional rights are for everybody. So when you're accused of a crime, you're supposed to have due process. You're supposed to have an opportunity to defend yourself. You're not supposed to be hunted down like an animal in the street and killed. That's right, Stiletto exec. It does not matter. And I need you guys to understand that. That's another thing I've said before, but it is very important to me that you hear me on that. Our brothers are meeting death penalty sentences in the street for shoplifting. That's not right. I just watched the governor of Texas change the law to get a white woman out of jail today. I just watched the Attorney General of the United States dismiss a case after the perp had pled guilty for defrauding the government, for lying to the President of the United States, supposedly, to the Vice President of the United States, pleads guilty in front of Judge Emmett Sullivan, a judge I've appeared in front of in trial after trial after trial, and he does not play. Now, he's pled guilty, and they have tried to drop the charges. Will it happen? Will it not happen? Will Judge Sullivan go the same way with them? He's got to approve it. I don't know. But what I do know is at the upper echelons of the United States government, that is what is happening. Governors are changing laws to protect the privileged class. Our Attorney General's office, our Department of Justice for the United States of America now is an arm of the presidency of a lawless, amoral, bankrupt administration. That's where we are. So what does that have to do with Ahmaud? What does that have to do with Sean Reed, the young man who looks like he had on no shirt and some shorts, and the police are going to say that he was shooting at them when they got killed? We have to come out of the cycle where one black man is shot by law enforcement and killed, or one black man is killed by a vigilante, right? Trayvon Martin, and now this case, or one black man is killed on what should have been a routine stop, except for the officer was a punk and afraid of a black body of a black man, was threatened by just a black man being there, by the skin, by the presence, by the power. I don't know. But we have to get from where we do the one black man is killed, march for the one black man, hashtag for the one black man, raise money for the one black family, pay for the lawyers for that one black family, fight for the charges against that one criminal who did that one crime, wait for the civil case, they get a judgment because someone is dead, and then we move on until the next time somebody is killed. That's the cycle right now. That's why these black men are hashtags instead of humans. And we rally and we rally and we rally. And frankly, I'm sick of it. And I don't mean that with any disrespect to those who have died. Every single case that I just named, I in some way or another worked on, helped, marched, donated, worked with the lawyers, met with those families, cried with their mamas. So I'm not coming to you from a lack of caring or from thinking that they don't deserve justice. But we have to move now, because I got sons coming and you have sons coming. We need justice for them now, because if we don't erect real justice, then we will still be hashtagging our way through life 15 years from now. Is that all we can do? Fight and rally and march so when a black man gets killed in the middle of the street, the person who did it can get arrested? I really don't think so. I think that we have more ability than that. We have more power than that. We have more opportunity available to us than that. We have voting blocks. We have economic blocks. We have raw numbers. And what we end up doing is buying into a structure. And I'm coming to you as somebody who's been on the defense side. I was a government attorney for 11 years. I defended police departments, mayors, municipalities. I settled cases like ones that are about to be filed. I saw where police officers had screwed up, and they sent it to my desk because I was supposed to be a senior litigator saying, what can we do with this? And I'm like, you can write a check. It's what you can do. The officer messed up. So it's the litigator's office. For all of you all who think Black people shouldn't be prosecutors, Black people shouldn't be in civil departments, in attorney general's offices, really? I'm here to tell you, rethink. Because if it's coming across my desk, or if it's coming across somebody like Yodit's desk, then we're immediately assessing and saying, this officer, we recommend termination. We recommend immediate counsel. We recommend desk duty or administrative leave until the process is handled. We're inside at that point, so we don't have to back down from Fraternal Order of Police and all of these people who put on pressure for civil litigators. We can see the files, right? Because some of the stuff that happens, we have to go through defense attorneys, civil litigants, people I love. Chris Stewart, who's my former student, Ben Crump, all of these people who do really excellent work, they have to fight through discovery. They have to fight through FOIA to get information that the folks on the inside in the government saw day one. They saw the deliberative files. They saw the video the first day. They knew exactly what was happening. There are no things unknown in these situations. So sometimes when I see these cases, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, what's going to happen now? They didn't change prosecutors 3 times, so that means it's ugly. They probably got video showing that the people were wrong, and they're pushing the ball. But those things are known to us. What are we going to do about it? Because if systemic change is required, you can't legislate hearts and minds. A racist is gonna racist. A white supremacist is gonna white supremacist. That hate in their hearts, pray if you want to. I'm not trying to stop you. I pray too, but I'm praying for us. I'm praying that we get the strength that we need, right? And the stamina in between hashtags to keep working. Legislation is required for systemic change. We have to change the way police officers are staffed. We have to require sensitivity training. We have to require more thorough background checks. We have to require accounting for every single stop, every single arrest. We have to have access to that information on a federal level. It can't be state by state by state, because if you do it that way, then Texas is going to be the Wild Wild West and Maryland is going to be reporting every day. There shouldn't be any distinction. We are all citizens of the United States of America. These are federal constitutional rights. So they should have federal mandates. They should have federal enforcement. They should have federal legislation, or it does not work. No, it's not enough. You know, you could think you're okay in Maryland. What if your child goes to school in Georgia? What you gonna do then? What you gonna do then? And y'all know Kemp is nuts. I mean, he doesn't care about these people. He's sending them out to die. No, I'm not running for office. I'm running for my life. Same as y'all right here. I'm going to run with Maud tomorrow, and I'm going to keep on running. I see comments coming, but I just want to get this off of my chest. So we need legislation. We need community activism. Not just when somebody else dies. Somebody else is going to die, y'all. Somebody else is gonna, for every Mike Brown, for every Freddie Gray, for every Tamir, for every Trayvon, for every Ahmad, for every Sean, I can keep going on and on and on and on. There are thousands that we know nothing about. Nothing. Never reported. Dead black boy. Didn't even bother to give their family the entirety of the investigative file. Happening every day. So where's the oversight going to come? Who's going to be responsible for it? Are you voting actively to put people of color into jobs in state government as prosecutors? Or are you on here and on other social media running down the black people who hold those positions? What you gonna do about it? Don't you want somebody who's got Black lives that matter to them making these decisions? Don't you want a person of conscience who comes out of your community making these decisions? Don't we need more of those in government as defense lawyers, as prosecutors, and then the people who are putting forward the legislation? I see people on here all the time saying Trump is the same, Biden's going to be the same, Obama didn't do enough. Shut up, y'all. You know that's not true. Stop it. This man is an abomination. We have targets on our backs. And the white supremacists are coming out, and the Nazi enthusiasts are coming out, and they are being given cover by the highest official in our land. They are good and frustrated people now. Y'all know, I mean, I'm sure plenty of you know, the only way that you can deal with a racist is to shame them into hiding, because you can't change their hearts. You just have to make it unacceptable for them to do it in broad daylight. Y'all saw that man walk into the grocery store because they said he had to wear a mask, so he wore a Klan hood? That's where we are right now. That's what time it is. So when President Obama was in office, community, cell block, courtroom, we need changes in all of those areas. Started working on it. Do nothing legislature. GOP has zero interest in it. I don't want to hear anything about what Trump's doing, letting out a few people here and there. That's not what we need. We need proactive legislation that changes the manner in which these cases are handled, that requires heightened transparency for municipal, state, and federal government. We need for it to be easier for the Department of Justice to come in and do what is necessary to investigate these cases. We need that now. We need funding going into NAACP Legal Defense Fund, Innocence Project, Social Justice Project. People who do this work every day, not for pay. Their pay isn't determined by whether they win a civil suit or not and get a percentage of what the family is going to get that's supposed to be justice for their dead child. We have to support institutions who do this work for the sake of the work. We have to empower them to do it every day. We have to get behind congresswomen and men who are putting forward legislation to make these changes. We have to put a person in office, president and down ballot, that cares about what is happening to us. Because otherwise, whose child is it going to be? I don't want it to be mine. My oldest boy just turned 15 yesterday. No. And he's got special needs. He's on the autism spectrum, which means they are disproportionately abused at the hands of law enforcement, because law enforcement is out there untrained and encounters people who have health challenges, who have mental challenges, and they don't know what to do. And I don't, you can just look a day prior in my IG feed and see my big cute brawny boy, handsome as all get out, but he would be imposing on the street without me, dealing with a young rookie officer. I mean, even when they're trained, the not the silhouettes, but the role play, the modeling, the computer programs that they use, the perps are black. What does that tell you? If they're in law academy and they're chasing bad guys and the bad guys are black. We're going to have to get in the weeds. It can't be case to case to case. My sympathies for every mother that has to bury a child. I can't imagine it. I can't. But if we're going to consider ourselves activists, social engineers, civil rights leaders, civil rights supporters, we do not prop up one case, get everybody in a frenzy, get an arrest or a settlement or both, and move on to the next. If we really care and are about this work, then we are looking to make lasting, systemic change. I'm not a journalist. Roland's still on here. That's his sweet spot. Support Black media, please, because they are covering these stories before ABC is trying to get the story, before it's on the Today Show. Black media is covering these stories because they care about us. So support that. But their job is to report the news and inform us, right? And the litigator, their job is to handle case by case by case. And the legislator, his or her job is to introduce legislation to create for different policies, right? So there are lanes. Dr. King was not getting settlements and judgments, y'all. That was not his lane. Thurgood Marshall had the most influence on cases where he had no pay at all. They were funded by the people to do a job, to make a change. There was no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. We need those. We need those people. And we need those people now. That's all I got. I probably got some more, but it's late. My turban is tight. I love you guys. We got to stay in the fight, though. Fight smart. Don't be running out there when you're supposed to be social distancing and you know African Americans are at higher risk. You don't have to march close like this. That's not the way. That's not the only way. March with your checkbook. March with your voice. March with your social media accounts. March by calling your senator, your congressperson, your local mayor, your prosecutor. That's your march. Yep. Fight smart. I see that hashtag. I like it. So please do those things and I'll be back, but that's all I have to say about that for now. Any questions? I'll stay on here for a couple of seconds because I wasn't paying attention, so I couldn't see the comments while I was doing my talking. Anybody have any questions? I saw somebody say, how do we stop the hashtags? We stop the hashtags when we create the change to the point that it is unprofitable for municipalities to look the other way when their officers are unprepared and poorly trained. We stop the hashtags when we support government officials who make the consequences such that your entire budget is in jeopardy and you have oversight through consent decree, which means you lose as a municipality control over your own police department. The chief doesn't have any authority. The county attorney doesn't have any authority. The federal government is now in your behind looking at everything you do. That can stop some hashtags, because I'm here to tell you, I've worked in those systems. Nobody wants that. When you start talking about the feds are going to be watching everything we do, they don't want that. You stop the hashtags when you empower lawyers, activists, civil rights leaders to devote real time, which requires funding, devote real time to actively lobbying for change. So it's not just, somebody else died, let's march. It is, we've been working every single day, working smart, working with Google, working with Facebook, working with Microsoft, working with the stock exchange, working with CBS, working with ABC. We've been working smart every day so that we can make real changes. We have formed the kind of partnerships so that it's not going to be acceptable for an officer to say, oops, my body cam wasn't on. No. Because if you have 3 of them, and if they are controlled in the precinct and not on the officer, that never will happen again. They don't want you to know that's possible, but it is. You see everything else? How do you think all those cameras that are giving you speeding tickets are working? You think they can't record other things? Do you really think, especially in metro areas, that there's anything that happens that can't be seen 15, 20 different places? What was your question, Official Grandmaster Jay? Say it again, because I didn't see it. Wait, let me go back. Oh, can you tell us where we can find the contact information for our have they overcharged them to guarantee a not guilty verdict? Overcharged who? In the Ahmaud Arbery case? Absolutely not. No. There was no way anything else would be a joke. No. I mean, that was not an accident. It was not in the heat of anything. They planned for that, and they got themselves together. Like, get a posse, get a rope, got themselves together. And that the appropriate charge is murder, and also there's aggravated assault. So in order to explain that differently, murder is at the top of the chart, but there are other charges under it, so they're not going to fall through the cracks that way. Elected officials, yes, you should be, for all of your local and state, go to whatever your state is .gov to get who they are. But you also can go under the federal system and figure out your elected officials that way. Let me get you the exact site because I want y'all to know. Okay, so go to usa.gov as your main page. And then you should see a list there. There are other ways, but it gives you federal elected officials for one link. And then it has state elected officials. I'm looking at another phone. I don't know if you guys can you see what I'm doing? See, on a Zoom, I would have been able to share, so it has federal, state, and local. And you can click whether it's mayor, county executive, town officials. It'll all be there. Yep. And it has the phone numbers. Show up to your city council meetings. When people are running, submit questions for the debates. I know everything is virtual now, so when I say show up, I mean show up online. If you are in an area that does not have a lot of Wi-Fi access, advocate, whether it's for students, for new voters, advocate for hotspot distribution, because that's something that is not very hard to do. It's just people don't do things until you make them. Okay? Vote, y'all. It's gonna matter. It matters like it's never mattered before. Any other questions? God bless you too. I love y'all. Yes, intent is present. Let's not worry about the grand jury. They're not waiting on the grand jury. They would have been waiting on the grand jury in order to do the charges. They skipped past that because the black people started going crazy and the white people started going crazy. Everybody started going crazy. So we're past that now. Okay. I'll be back sooner rather than later, but I'm praying for everyone. And I hope that we think about moving forward with intention, moving forward smart, moving forward in purpose, moving forward thinking about our children and our grandchildren. Because as painful as this moment is, it's not about just this moment. It's about all the moments we know will be like this unless we put some changes in place. Sweeping systemic changes. And that is not going to happen under this administration on a federal level. So be thinking about that March into November. Okay? Do you feel that black men are to blame for the current state of blacks? No. I love black men. No, sir. I don't know what that means. I mean, we are function of systemic oppression, slavery, discrimination, and our brothers suffered, and their women, our mothers and grandmothers and great grandmothers suffered, and everybody is doing the best you can. Yeah, somebody did ask me that, Official Grandmaster Jay, but obviously my answer. Anybody who knows me knows my theme for a long time has been save the world one black man at a time. But no, we're here for each other. And we have suffered together, so we should rise together. We should reign together. Okay, thank you. Thanks for joining. I will remember to hit save. And for those of you who asked, yes, I will remember to hit save because I did not screen record it. So I will hit save so that I can save it and then I will post it. All right? Love y'all. Praying for you. Bye-bye.